welcome to First Gate Precinct, home of the Botswana Stock Exchange. We have convened here this morning in the spirit of entrepreneurship to recognize excellence through the graduation ceremony for the participants of the recently ended Inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship Program. Over and above that, we will be, of course, acknowledging the September 2019 edition of the Botswana Stock Exchange Opening Bell Ceremony. But before we begin proceedings of today's program, kindly allow me to observe protocol by acknowledging the presence of the following: BSE Chairperson, Lieutenant General Tebogo Masire, BSE and CSD board members here present. We have Mr. Mulele, we have Ms. Kiwa Haman back there. We have the Business Botswana President, Mr. Hubusaman Gibine. We have the Botswana Stock Exchange Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Tapelo Tsawile. We have fellow speaker, BSC Head of Market Development, Ms. Tapelo Moribane. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the graduates of the inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship Program, the facilitators of the inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship Program, BSC Senior Management and staff. Kindly allow me this opportunity to acknowledge stakeholders within the ecosystem of capital markets, the business community here present, members of the media, members of the public. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As most of you are aware, we will be, of course, having a graduation ceremony later on in the program. And of course, with due regards to that, we have a special keynote speaker, that is Mr. Hubusaman Gibine, who is the President of Business Botswana. He will be delivering remarks that will be centered on SME development in Botswana. So at this point in time, as we're running behind schedule, please allow me to invite to the podium the BSC CEO, Mr. Tapelo Tsawile, who will be delivering the welcome remarks.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. The BSC Chairperson, Red Tebogo Masire, Business Botswana President, Red Hubusaman Gibine, BSE board members here present, and CEO of Business Botswana, graduate of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, facilitators of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, BSE staff and management, key stakeholders within capital markets, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me take this opportunity to welcome you to the September 2019 edition of the Opening Bell. And during this ceremony, we'll be facilitating the graduation for participants of the recently ended Tshipidi Mentorship Program. And I'm also proud to say that this also is a step in the right direction for BSE, because we are one of the few stock exchanges that are running such programs in Africa. I think we are one of the 4 stock exchanges that are actually running this program out of 28 stock exchanges. As such, I think it is an honor and privilege to have within us this morning the President of Business Botswana, Gibine, who is our keynote speaker. Mr. Gibine will deliver remarks on the importance of SME development in Botswana, and further deliberate on the role the stock exchange can play in facilitating their growth through equity and finance. We are happy to have you this morning, Gibine. But one of the things that we normally do during the opening bell is just to briefly give an update in terms of market development or market activities. I think on a year-to-date basis, as of 30 August 2018, we have traded about 1.2 billion pula, and this is on average about 7.2 million pula per day of equity trading. In terms of the bond trading, it's 1.3 billion for government and 27.9 million for corporate bonds. Therefore, all in all, I think the stock market traded about 2.4 billion on a year-to-date basis. Like we have always said since the beginning of this year, trading across all emerging markets is very low. We are one of the very few fortunate stock markets where trading is about, I think, down to about 20-something%. But the rest of the other fellow stock exchanges in the continent are as down as 60% and 50% and the like. So we are still fortunate enough to be trading at those levels. The Tshipidi Mentorship program was started as a way to groom companies that could potentially raise capital, improve governance, and also leverage on the publicity through the stock market in the short, medium, and long term. When we started this program, where we started the preparations last year, the aim was to provide practical training through a comprehensive interactive program. And we looked at a lot of key elements in how to corporatize as a company. What does a company's capital structure look like? What does reporting, financial reporting means? And we also took companies through the commercial law, listing requirements, and most importantly, corporate governance. It was a program that was facilitated over 4 months, and during the 4 months, participants came to the stock exchange for about 2 days. The structure of the program is in such a sense that we started with the role of the stock exchange, which was delivered by the BSE, and then we went on the experiences by listed entities from private to public. That was presented by 2 listed entities, being Shumba Coal, Shumba Energy Limited, and Prime Time, which I would like to thank very much for their support. And also the corporate governance, the corporate finance was done by Grant Thornton. Equity and debt listing was facilitated by the BSE, and then we also had New Africa Properties that also shared their journey with the participants. We also looked at issues surrounding corporate governance, issues regarding corporate governance and the relationship between the company and its directors. These 2 were done by, the other one was done by KPMG, and then the other one was done by Saigo Group. And we also had an experience sharing by 10 Star, which was done by Gulam. And we also had a panel discussion, which had Imara Securities and Sipo Armstrong's attorneys participating in the discussion. And lastly, we had the clearing and settlement transfer roles that was done by the BSE, by COPSEF, and also by the CSD. And all these people gave us their expertise for free, which is something that I think should be acknowledged. And the other good thing is that out of all the 18 companies that participated, I think majority of them made sure that they attended throughout, and we are looking forward to continuous interaction in the future with them, so that we don't only graduate and they disappear. But one of the things that I really liked about the companies that participated in Tshipidi was the fact that all these companies were across various sectors, and all of them have the potential to grow, to become big companies in this country and even in the region. And like we've always said to market participants, majority of our Botswana companies end up collapsing because of lack of taking the next step into the future. You know of all the big names that we have had in this country for so long. And all of you can actually testify that majority of them are nowhere to be seen. It's not an issue of Botswana do not support each other. I don't think I buy that story, at least for now. It's an issue that every company has got its lifespan. There's a certain point in time as a company where you need to evolve. If you don't evolve, you die. And all the 18 companies that participated in the BSE, if you don't take the next step to your growth of your company, you will definitely die. That explains why majority of the companies that have been listed since 1989, when the stock market started, are still even operating efficiently now. Because one thing that really helps you as a company is when you become listed, corporate governance is one of the biggest sustainability issues that can carry your company to grow for the long term. The companies that participated in this first or inaugural Tshipidi mentorship program are AT&T Monakota group of companies, which is in the transport sector, First Capital Bank, which is in banking, Homek Services. Homek is in the services, trading and distribution, is Botswana's first Verimark direct franchisee. Tikano Group, which is in the financial services, F Vitamins, food production, Destiny Car Rentals in the transport industry, Urban Soul Apparel, retail and wholesaling, Kali Clothing, retail and wholesaling, Glam Collections, manufacturing in home textile, Bo Intertrading, food production, Energy X Petroleum, energy, Creative Business Solutions is in printing and manufacturing, Kelly H Mass, I hope I pronounce it properly, Mass is manufacturing, Mass brick production, Sarek Building and Civil Construction is in construction, Ultimate Hydro Solutions is in water purification, treatment and I think it's conservation. Stol is STOL, petroleum is in energy, Zilla Investment is in manufacture and distribution of high performance eco-friendly chemicals. And all these companies, we strongly believe are companies that can significantly contribute to the economy of Botswana. And as the BSE, we are ready to help them, even if these companies don't ultimately list, but I think in one way or the other, they will contribute to the economy of this country. And therefore, we have used our little resources to structure this program, to pay for participation of whatever facilitators need to be paid for. And in this tough business environment, especially this year, when it's the first year that we don't receive a subvention as BSE, I think I would like to take this opportunity to thank the board of BSE under the leadership of Lieutenant, Lieutenant Masire for allowing the BSE management to go into this form of mentorship program, because it doesn't directly pay us off as the BSE. It's something that we do to develop the economy. We also do to empower our businesses. But I'm pretty sure that out of the 18 companies that participated, we are definitely going to get some listings, because some of you have already started to inquire about listing. Listing is a journey. We are starting with you today. You might list after 5 years, when I will not be the CEO probably during that time, and then the CEO that time will be saying, I'm bringing in listings. Forgetting that we laid a very good ground for them to actually take a lot of these things. But I've got a very strong personal conviction that the quality of the companies that I saw here, in terms of their profiles, this can be game changers for this country. let's stop depending on the neighbors for everything. As I speak to you now, they are burning trucks. I don't know what these guys are going to eat. And we can't have things coming into our country. It might be a good thing because it might create opportunities for us to really produce things. And use the stock market to raise capital, expand into the rest of Africa. You don't necessarily need to expand into South Africa. You can go to deep into Africa using the capital that you have raised in the basin. Don't go forever. Don't go far after graduation. Keep coming to the BSE for assistance. And as we have said, we are going to be doing this because the second intake of the program is only next year. And therefore, after this, we are still going to be hand-holding you through all other opportunities that we might see. With all those few welcome remarks, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you, especially Ibine and our chairperson, for blessing the September opening bell ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ratsole. As you can see from the screen behind me, ladies and gentlemen, the market is officially open. But we will continue with the agenda before the official bell ringing. At this point in time, kindly allow me to invite to the podium the Business Botswana President, Mr. Hubusamangi Bine, who will deliver the official remarks. Please give him a round of applause.
I have a side problem. When I wear these things, I can't read what I have. When I take them off, I can't see you. so yeah, choices. Good morning. Let me say that protocol has been observed, and don't indulge into that. And just say thank you, CEO. Thank you, board chair, for inviting me here. You know, I've been president of Business Botswana for 2 years. According to our constitution, my term has come to the end. So, September, which is next month. Is it already this month? I might not be standing here. So just like the country, we are in election time. On behalf of Business Botswana, it is a great honor, and I feel extremely privileged to officiate here at the September 2019 edition of the Botswana Stock Exchange opening bell ceremony. Allow me to take this opportunity to applaud and commend the efforts of the BSE board and management team on the introduction of the opening bell ceremony. I believe this was done back in 2018. This initiative, I strongly believe, will surely help the BSE efforts of increasing awareness about our local capital markets and the opportunities that are abundant for both investors and issuers of financial securities. As the President of Business Botswana, my role here today is to solidify our association's support for all initiatives that seek to empower and grow small businesses into regional and international behemoths that must grow into, particularly when Africa markets open after the signing of the Continental Free Trade Area. Botswana is a signatory to that. You know, my biggest worry, if it's a worry or concern, if it's a concern, is we're all happy Africa is opening up. We're happy Botswana is part of that opening up. Recently, we had the global, the global, what is it called? Expo. We had a forum where we're talking about how ready are we as Botswana companies for Africa to open like it is opening. I've had the opportunity to host more than 3-4 delegations, particularly from Nigeria, who are saying we are coming into Botswana. And my concern was, well, these guys, some of them will tell you they don't talk to their governments talk to them because they've got very, very deep pockets. And I was asking myself, when they do come, as Botswana companies, where are we? How far are we? Let's spoke about companies that were there, that some of us grew up knowing and looking up to them as the companies. I can mention, for example, a company called Tshipidi Construction, a company called Tswana Construction. They were the construction companies in this country when we grew up. You look around, they don't exist. Why do they not exist? It's probably they never had an opportunity like you guys have today. The knowledge that you have gained from this Tshipidi mentorship, in my sincere belief, is a knowledge that should make sure that 10 years later, 20 years later, your individual companies are still there. As I said, this is in line with our philosophy as Business Botswana and mission of making sure that the foremost business organization drive sustainability and inclusive economic development and social transformation of Botswana. I'm excited to hear about the BSc Inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship Program that took place from June to August 2019. I'm reliably informed that such kind of activities are common in stock exchanges across the world, created with the objective of capacitating small medium businesses on all aspects of capital raising through listing on securities exchange. I'm further informed that Botswana Stock Exchange continues to make strides in developing the market through various ways, such as leveraging on technology, expanding the product offering, increasing the number of issuers and investors, accelerating the process of demutualization, which was achieved in 2018, improving collaboration with strategic partners, and streamlining business processes, ensuring financial sustainability for the exchange. Regionally, I'm informed the BSc chairs a committee of SADC stock exchanges, which is made up of 14 stock exchanges in Southern Africa, and hosts its secretariat. That the BSc is also a member of the African Securities Exchange and is part of its executive committee. This must be important because the gentleman who helped me put this notes together mentioned it. He further says the United Kingdom, Her Majesty Revenue Customs has designated the Botswana Stock Exchange as an internationally recognized stock exchange. A bit of colonialism, but we can accept it. These are all exceptional milestones, and today as we celebrate yet another milestone, being the graduation of 17 small medium companies across diverse sectors from the 29 BSc Tshipidi Mentorship Program. I can only but heartily congratulate the management of BSc and staff on a job well done. Business Botswana support and encourage more of these initiatives, as it only not prepares our emerging entrepreneurs, but instill a sense of confidence to be able to stand on their own and grow beyond the borders of Botswana, as His Excellency the President of this country has encouraged us. This milestone not only instills confidence in the market also, but it also serves to supplement already existing business development programs. My take is that as you have gone through the Tshipidi program, your ability, your sense of how business is carried out has radically changed. I want to believe that you are going to go back to your different areas, and how you've been doing business is going to be markedly different from how you're going to do it going forward. I take confidence in the fact that when the Nigerians arrive here, you can confidently stand up and speak at equal terms. When you haven't gone through this program, Usazorana when the Nigerian guy comes and says, well, 2 million a year, get out and let me come in, you will willingly take it and run, when potentially you could have asked for 100 million and still remain in the business. So I want to believe that what Tshipidi has taken you through gives you the confidence, the aptitude to stand up and be able to say, I will be counted among the rest. Because let's be honest, for the 52, 53 years of independence, we've depended on everybody else except ourselves. We have said they know they have big pockets, they have this, they have that. Maybe at times it's not even about big pockets. Okay. I talk a lot with the chairman about many things. One of the things that really touches me on the wrong side of the heart, which is the right side, is when we have state-owned entrepreneurs come into Botswana to compete with you, and you guys are literally on your own. It's a problem. It's a problem that I'm hoping that after the October elections, hopefully I'll still be president, because now I would have passed. This engagement we want as Business Botswana, we want to take it further. To say, even if Botswana Stock Exchange takes you through a process like they've taken you called Tshipidi, if you have an SOE coming from wherever in the world to come and compete with you, it will swallow you, because it got state money behind it. You don't have state money. You still have to go to the commercial banks, who will look at you and to quote Malema in South Africa, that is. To quote him, banks, commercial banks, money doesn't like black faces. So you still have a problem. So jointly together, we have to stand up and say, how do we influence the powers that be to ensure that, even though you've gone through a very, very important task, which should prepare your companies to be relevant in the sphere that you operate in, there are certain areas that Botswana Stock Exchange cannot do. And this is where we are saying, when competition comes, let it be level, on the level plane. Let it not come and you have to compete with an entity that is government sponsored and you are individually sponsored. Furthermore, Business Botswana support and encourage more of this initiative. And as it only not prepares and our emerging entrepreneurs, but instill a sense of confidence to be able to stand on your own. The milestones not only instills confidence in the market, but also serves to supplement already existing. I want to believe that modules that were part of this program, which includes corporate finance, corporate governance, financial reporting, etc., are extremely important in the growth of any corporate, and will increase the level of assurance and professionalism in our market, resulting in valuable business that are efficiently run by qualified, competent boards, and a direction that African business listed and unlisted need to go towards. Furthermore, the participation of BSE registered advisory firms, as well as directors of some of the BSE listed companies, indicate a very critical commitment of the whole capital market ecosystem with regards to the development of the local capital market. I salute them for this very commendable sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, an initiative such as the BSC Tshipidi Mentorship Program can only add growth of Botswana private sector and the economy as a whole. And at Business Botswana, we're both excited and say to BSC, keep up the good work that do involve Business Botswana into the future. And together, let us work to expand this great initiative. Botswana Arenja Pedi, On behalf of Business Botswana, I would like to thank all those who played a role in ensuring that this initiative was executed successfully, as well as congratulate the promoters of the businesses that have graduated successfully from this program. And I need to say this and emphasize is that you guys, all of you, the 17, 18 companies that are here, you are brave. You're very, very brave, because a lot of people don't understand the stock exchange, and the fear of not knowing will bar them from coming up. For you to have been able to say, I don't care who says what, I'm going to go there, understand what the stock exchange animal is, and be party to it and be part of it, I think is a very commendable task, event on your part. So congratulations, guys. To BSE, thank you once again for your invite and to this ceremony, and I wish you very successful ASEA conference in November, and encourage all of us here today to register and attend this conference as a means to broaden our understanding of the workings of the stock exchange. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's please give Mr. Gibina another round of applause. Thank you so much for those warm, gracious remarks, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the next item on our agenda is the bell ringing. The market officially opened at 9:55. Currently, my watch says it's 10:16. So at this point in time, I would like to invite the President of Business Botswana, Mr. Gibine, the Botswana Stock Exchange Chairperson, Lieutenant General Tebogo Masile, as well as three representatives of the participants of the Tshipidi program. Looking at the stage, I don't think we can have all of you. So can we just have 3 or 4 of you representing the class? I will count down from 3 until 1, then you ring the bell, then you can pass it on to the next person. So ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, ring. Thank you so much. You may take it. Thank you. At this point in time, I would like to invite to the podium the chairperson of the Botswana Stock Exchange, Lieutenant General Tebogo Masile, who will deliver his remarks, and then of course will award certificates to the participants of the inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship program. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Muzama Isa. Abeki Ibile and the CEO, board members and management of the Stock Exchange, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
On behalf of the board of Botswana Stock Exchange Limited, let me welcome you to this inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship Program graduation ceremony. And also thank you for honoring our invitation to be here this morning. Lisuru Tshipidi Budwai. And when I look at you, it's very appropriate, because we won't nana and the rakin niti. Yes. You know, one thing that strikes me whenever we talk about business motion is this lack of understanding of the concept of Tshipidi, wa Simola, wa Totoba, wa Woka, then water. But the tendency is that you all want to go from Tshipidi to marathon, and then you collapse. I think it's a typical example of how you take it through. The thing that has killed businesses about one is this mentality of I'm a businessman, you know, the money, I'm going to live like a businessman. Doesn't work that way. But I remember about Ramusila, I build us slowly, one shop after the other, and that's where it is. So I hope, having been here for these 3 months, you have learned the tricks of the game, or what is a business, how do you raise capital, and most importantly, how do you manage that capital. The role of government, and I must make this very clear, because there's misconception. The role of government is not to create jobs, it's to allow people like yourselves to start up businesses, grow, employ others, and create jobs. And therefore, it is in our interest as business people to work with government to make the environment that we want to exist. Yeah, no, what happens is that I don't want to hell all the time. And you know, in life, if you are a crybaby, you never succeed. Because you become negative every time out of opportunity whenever you see an obstacle. Because you are blinded by, I don't know whether to say, anger or dissatisfaction or what. But if we can use this platform, how do you approach business? How do you open your mind? And how do you see opportunities? It is critical that you use such. For us to have a vibrant economy, for us to be able to move from the upper middle income country to a high income country, we depend on you people. The government cannot do it itself. It's you who can do it. And you always watch, I don't know whether you have always see CNN or BBC. They always have this program study startups of African people. And which are dominated like in Nigeria, Kenya. Nigeria and Kenya are the main ones. Young people coming up with brilliant ideas and they break the barrier. And I said to myself, what is wrong with our people? Why aren't we having our young people there? And then when you talk to people like yourself and young ones, you see well there's a misconnect. Because maybe the opportunities that we need to give you are already in. But this is where the dialogue has to come in. President is talking about transformation. That means changing mindset, changing the way we do things. And it has got to be two-way traffic. You have to come up with what you want. He has to tell you what he can do. That way, we can build a better world. However, as I've said before, for you to realize your full potential as an engine of growth, it is important to create a favorable environment that allows you to expand and prosper. And as such, it is the collaborative responsibility of all stakeholders to initiate synergies that can foster such growth and develop SME in Botswana. However, in the current economic climate, SME development has been constrained by access to finance. These constraints have had the negative effect of stifling the growth of potential businesses, thereby dampening the economic diversification and employment creation drive. Traditionally, access to financing has been dominated by commercial banks, which Tshipidi saying they don't like big faces, which are the major suppliers of credit to households and private business in Botswana. While much of the focus apparently is on enhancing lending to SMEs, there is a growing emphasis on the need to diversify the range of financing options that are available to SMEs, and consequently, the potential role of capital markets in SME funding. Avenues like stock exchange have not been fully utilized, and there remains an opportunity for access to equity market finance, hence the birth of the Tshipidi Mentorship program. At this point also, one needs to highlight the fact that this dialogue with government that you should have should also include a review of things like layer, YDF, and SEDA. Because it's quite apparent that we have a funding model problem. Motorobata business here 200,000, Umonera 100,000. You have killed the business. So you need to go back and dialogue with government and say, how do you manage our business? We trust that this program has imparted knowledge on the listing value chain. And moreover, I trust that you have taken away key learnings that will assist you in positioning your companies to list on the BSE in future. I mean, if you can at least get half of you listing in the next 2-3 years, that will be a major achievement. But so in doing, you will be empowering Botswana and contributing towards the growth of our economy. Banana, you must appreciate for a business depends on you. You can make or break it. It doesn't matter how big the opportunity is. La 10 million gig. 6 months later, zero. If you look at the newspapers, every Friday, in the matter between, page after page after page. How was our holiday? Yeah, but I halfway through about disappearing. But I to halfway through how to do it. It's because you do not know how to measure your growth. From Tshipidi, you say Bolt. You cannot help that. So my advice to you is that take this opportunity, learn the tricks, take your time. That is very critical. Service delivery, to tell the truth, is appalling. Appalling. You know, Steve Harvey was here 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I don't want to tell him what he said. And what I said to the management of Havrone Grand Pub, it was just unbelievable. And then we expect a man like this to bring more. America are full of themselves, so to say. They want to be taken serious. I mean, you think Beyonce can come here and be treated like, no. So you need to know what your customer wants and deliver. If you have to go on your knees, do so, because you know what you want. So as you go from here, go and run your businesses, know what you want, meet your customers' needs, most importantly, manage those finances prudently. I always tell people all the time that Botswana is here because we had men and women who ran our economy 100%. So that our number we don't go right. You have never had any time when I natural disaster we go to the no, because even in business, we have to have when everything else dries, there's something to pull out of the bag. But how all the time will not succeed. Anyway, that was not part of my speech. It was just to welcome you here and congratulate you for having taken 3 months of hard work and hopefully concentration and learning. And let me wish you all the luck as we go forward. If you have any problems, you need assistance, like the most of exchange, we'll pull the strings where we can to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant General. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to proceed to the awarding of the certificates to the participants of the Tshipidi program. The first one that we have is Kali Clothing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Okay. We're fine? All right. Let me invite Stoll Petroleum. Are we okay? Let's please go. Great. The next company that I'd like to invite is Kelly Mass. Kelly Mass. The next company I'm going to invite is Sarek Building and Civil Construction. Okay. The next company invited to the podium is Earth Vitamins. Okay. The next company is Urban Soul. Thank you. The next company is Destiny Car Rentals. Okay. The next company is Homac Investments. The next company, Creative Business Solutions. Let's please have Zilla Investments. Let us please have Tikano Group. I would like to invite AT&T Monapada group of companies. And then First Capital Bank. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the participants a huge round of applause. We're growing close to the end of our program this morning, but the next item on the agenda will be the key learnings from the graduates of the inaugural Tshipidi Mentorship program. In the interest of time, I think I will just take two representatives, a lady and a gentleman, to give us their key findings from the first program held by the BSc. By default, I think Mrs. Hick, seeming as you are the lady founder here, I guess you will open up the floor and hear from you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the founder of Zella Investments. Please give her a round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. But first of all, can I be allowed to actually say protocol observed? Thank you very much. as you heard, I'm from the company called Zila Investments, and I'm actually sitting next to a young person, and this young lady said to me, why is it that it looks like this is like a male-dominant program? And yes, it does look like it is, but unfortunately some of the participants are here. And I would like to say to you women in this room that, you know, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity for us to actually drive the economy of this country. Through the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, we can do that. I would like to thank the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, BSE, for the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, which has actually enlightened us a lot. I particularly did not have any experience at all in the stock exchange. First of all, I didn't even know that my company can actually be able to list without having been like making huge profits in the first place. And let me tell you something, the youngsters in this house, you can actually even list without having started the company, as long as you have got a vision that we can put in paper. And the people and the prospective investors will believe in it. That is what I can tell you. Because I know this young person also asked me, she said to me, are all these companies operating? Yes, they are operating, but you don't have to be operating. You can actually start a new company altogether and tell the prospective investors that this is what you have. Yes. We've gained a lot from this mentorship program. We all know that it doesn't actually come cheap. But let me tell you something. We've learned that the advantages actually outweigh the disadvantages. If you list, you've got cheap capital, fast capital, you know. So we know that the banks are very, very expensive, and you know the interest is very, very high. And you know, if we can actually list and be able to raise that capital through and pay nothing towards it, investors know that they are taking a risk. And obviously, if you list, you have got the opportunity to make sure that you know your company, doesn't actually fall down. Because there are regulations that you have to abide by through the stock exchange. And these regulations actually include the governance, the corporate governance, which will make sure that you actually get where you are. So, guys, let's go out there and do it. I think I've got the last thing that I would really like to say is that you know I heard the previous speaker, the first speaker actually mentioning that if we don't actually evolve as companies, we will fall. So this is our opportunity, guys, to actually evolve. So let's go out and do it. And on behalf of women, I would like to say we can do it. Let me tell you very briefly about Zila Investments. I started this company from nothing. And today, we are actually employing 40 people, and most of them are youth. And I don't actually stop there. I would like to see this company employing at least 500 people before I retire. Thank you very much. So by that, I will come here and I will say, guys, I have evolved. And I believe I can do that through the stock exchange. Thank you very much. And I would like to give the others obviously the opportunity.
Very powerful. Women empowerment. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you so much, Mrs. Hick. I would like to call a gentleman to represent. Mr. Tsokumunakota, can you please let me invite you to the podium?
Good morning, participants. Morning, all present. Now I'll do something a bit that you expect. Sustenance, I get it. I'm handing over. Let's see, can you come? Succession planning.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, my director, Munakota. The CEO of Botswana Stock Exchange, the BSE Chairman, Lieutenant General Tebogo Masire, Business Botswana President, Mr. Kgobuso Mankibini, the staff of Botswana Stock Exchange, graduates of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Litzile. I'm the Group Investment Officer for AT&T Manapata Group of Companies. And I'm standing here today on behalf of my director. But I cannot apologize. Rather, I say he's handing over. So I do appreciate that he found it fit for me to represent the company in such a platform today. So AT&T Manapota Group of Companies consists of 6 companies, which is AT&T Manapota Transport, AT&T Travel and Tours, AT&T Car Rental Shuttle Services, Machain Investments, which is into properties, and Machain Business, which is in finance services. The AT&T Group has net assets of about over 66 million, and we have over 240 employees. We are lucky to have been selected in the 20 SMEs to have participated in the Tshipidi Mentorship Program representing the transport sector. We realized that the Botswana Stock Exchange chose participants from diverse industries including finance, manufacturing, transport like us, just to mention a few. This is commendable since any one of these industries have potential to issue equity. Our experience is that even though the program was spread over 6 days and 3 months, it was intense, covering a lot of issues surrounding governance, how to raise capital, and the different markets being provided by the Botswana Stock Exchange, that is the main board, the venture capital board, the Tshipidi board. We are happy to have interacted with industry players such as the stockbrokers, corporate lawyers, Jalo, who shed light into pertinent issues surrounding their expertise in line with listing. As AT&T, we are confident that together with us, the 19 participants will find it fit to list in the Tshipidi board or any other boards of the Botswana Stock Exchange. Bagaitsu ya re go tlogela tsatsing se ke se moriti ke o neo re monna khotla moriti ke o neo. Good luck to all Tshipidi mentorship program participants. The journey starts now. Thank you. I've had a special request. One of the participants wants to briefly talk about his key learnings. I think, seeming as this is their platform, rightfully so, we'll avail him that opportunity. Mr. Eric is that my name? Yes, from Star Petroleum, just kindly wants to address the audience. Please give him a round of applause.
Botswana
Botswana re bona go kgaba. Mme sa ntlha ke leboge Botswana Stock Exchange for this program. It's fantastic. Re ithutile go sena ka di-18 le gompieno a re ntse re ithuta jaaka ga ntse re utlwa chairman a re ruta utlwa re ke ebile a re ruta ntse ke thuteng tse tlaletsang mo go tse di itileng mongwe ga leng a kwalla mongana ke re ke ebile gore ha matho a sa bone so ka tse di klase tshwana tse metse leng gore ga o di o kgona go bona kwa le kwa wa sa direlwa di ba ha I have been in the industry. My company Stoll Petroleum. I worked in the oil industry for a long time. Left the oil industry, then set up my own company, Stoll Petroleum. And then became the son who is actually helping me in there. Yeah, now for reason why. Because some for reason is a bonus in the library. I did what Papa corporate governance. Something is something different. How as what you have is actually living the principles of business, the business environment. So, Jagahane Masira Buari, Arwana, who are American Nana, make us a maid or Havana with Tilly. May I still have a lot to learn. In fact, I have learned a lot from this Tshipidi. I therefore have taken this opportunity to thank him as the chairman, to thank the CEO and Lereki Bini. There were never reaching her. Having a shore, Babanzi Basio, Retune Babam. Sailing as you work until I was Lakanya, Yaru, by Nernaguma, make a accumulated in your road of Faragata, Honga Parela. Sales in Rutile. Mulas Tilo Hands and Arvanes already down quality. Make what Sepi Serapore, the child, the Tata, we took a hit, which Halarin Namasim, Cellos will have umbrella on Namasoy. Make a his couple of resonate you for having brought me here. Was the Harakan Yaman, so Kadisima, you think you did them like Bakaka. And then a key is a lot. More to the next stock exchange. Then it is on your capacity or go back to my mamma. I don't like it's like you cool, very cool, the ticket you use that. Never Muslim was saying for it. Yeah, CPR will be a sentence. Car, I like a in the reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the close of our program. I would like to invite to the podium the BSc Head of Market Development, Ms. Tabelo Marbame, who will deliver the vote of thanks before we disembark for our networking session and refreshments. Please give a round of applause.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. First of all, before I do the closing, let me recognize the presence of the Chairman of the BSc Board, Re Tebogo Masire, the Botswana Stock Exchange CEO, Re Thapelo Tshole, Business Botswana President, Mr. Kibine, BSE and CSTB board members here present, CEO of Business Botswana, Re Molene, and facilitators of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, as well as the graduates of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program, and everybody else who's here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a pleasure for me to do the closing remarks or the vote of thanks at this September opening bell ceremony, especially because we are using this platform to recognize the companies that have participated on the Tshipidi program that we've had for the past 3 months. It was just yesterday when we launched the program. In fact, we launched it at the May opening bell ceremony, and the reason why we launched this program really was because of the topic of SMME development and its importance to the Botswana Stock Exchange. So I'd just like to say a heartfelt congratulations to all the companies that graduated here today. You have worked hard, you've worked very hard, you deserve the recognition that you've just received this morning. And also to say you've taken a step in securing a legacy for your companies and for yourselves. So a round of applause. As the BSc, we really take pride in being pioneers of development and being very responsive to the needs of the market. So we currently, or we continually review the current infrastructure to assess its suitability to act as a catalyst for growth, particularly that of SMMEs, which is why we are here today. So our mantra, if you look closely, really is the fact that we want to operate and exchange with a human face. We don't want to leave everybody behind, which is why we put in resources as an organization to ensure that as companies, you are also brought to a level where you are ready to take your companies to the next level. So that's exactly what we did when we launched the Tshipidi SME board, which is now available for companies who want to raise capital from the stock market. So the launch of the Tshipidi program, like I've already highlighted, is really aimed at developing a pool of companies that have the potential to list not only in the short term but in the long term as well. So we do place partnerships and collaboration at the core of what we do as the BSc. And I think the Tshipidi mentorship program was really a demonstration of partnership at its level best, because we had to tap into different skills, different people, different resources to ensure that at the end of the day you get a quality program. So I would really like to extend a special thanks to the following: the BSE board, led by Retebo Masira, for their visionary leadership in keeping us on track in terms of achieving our mandate as the BSE. The management of the BSE for working very hard and working tirelessly to ensure that every day we move closer and closer to attaining our strategy. The Business Botswana President, Reki Bine, for agreeing to officiate at today's ceremony. We like having visitors around, so we are very happy that Reki Bine, you are able to be here today. I'd also like to thank the participants of the Tshipidi Mentorship Program for really keeping us on our toes as the BSE, because we also want to take the BSE to the next level, right? We did say we want to be a world-class securities exchange. So by implementing this Tshipidi Mentorship Program, we are doing exactly that. So a special thank you to the facilitators that were mentioned earlier in that diversity. Like the CEO has already said, the facilitators were not paid. They participated tirelessly. They were here every day on time, but they were not remunerated for that. Also, a special thank you to members of the media, BTV and the others. So it's always a pleasure, because what you really are doing is you are acting as a vessel with which the BSE can relay information to members of the public. So, in closing, I still reiterate that SMMEs need to be developed, they need to be nurtured, they need to be supported in Botswana. So we need to work very hard to profile these companies, and as companies yourselves, please also profile yourselves and make available data on what you do and all of that, so that you are visible to all the right stakeholders. So I thank you so much for attending. Please let's not get tired of developing Botswana, because it's a legacy for Banabaro Market. To all the stakeholders and the future TMP companies, see you in 2020. Please have a great day.
I could not have put it more perfectly. Please give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program this morning. Firstly, on my part, on behalf of the Botswana Stock Exchange, once again, we would like to thank the participants of the inaugural program. I think you are embedded in BSE history as the first companies to be a part of this program. As Resona did allude to, this is something that we will be carrying forward going ahead. So all of the companies that still have an interest in participating in this program, please look out for new updates as to how to be a part of the 2020 program. Moreover, kindly also, let me take this opportunity to thank the facilitators here this morning. There's a number of you back there. Kindly let me just acknowledge you. We have Mr. Bosch from Van Thornton. Please let them see you. We have the CEO of Inaugural Capital Securities, Mr. Matsake, at the back there. I cannot pronounce your surname, Mazaz. Sorry. Please stand up and let them acknowledge you as well. And of course, everybody else that was a part of the program, the team at the back, thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. To everybody else, thank you for joining us this morning. We'll see you again next month. Bye.